Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 7. So The Flash is back up and filming after its mini COVID positive test break thing, and they are on the last few days of filming before they actually go on a shorter than usual Christmas break. Now this is, shorter than usual and also shorter than compared to the other show's breaks due to the fact that they had that COVID break due to the positive test. So yeah, so I think they're back like early January. So they are filming an outdoor scene, I guess, over the next day or two or a couple days as well, which has a big throwback or callback to a previous season and a previous season's big bad or, big villain. Whether it connects to it is what we will bring up in this video, soon enough. Now, firstly, thanks to the people that got the photos and some information. So thanks to Parade Guy on Twitter. I'll leave it linked in the description down below for the photos, and also YVR Shoots for some added information. I think they were the ones that gave it, or at least I got it off them. So links in the description. Now, the first thing that has to be mentioned is where they're filming. So they're using a place in British Columbia, or the state that or the province of Vancouver's in, called Cloverdale to film this scene or scenes, which is the same area that was actually used as the main street in Smallville. So as you can see in the photo here, you can see a blockbuster, so you can tell this is a flashback. But what is being used as the blockbuster here, or posing as the blockbuster here, was actually the Talon, or the main hangout spot on Smallville. So that the cafe and everything, it was a different color back then, also had some different signage and various things like that, which made it look quite a bit different. But if you are a Smallville fan, this is a bit of a throwback. Now, for some wondering, Superman and Lois is not using this area for their Smallville. They are building their own completely separate set for downtown Smallville from the ground up. I think it's almost done, being built. I think they actually started filming there, so I'd assume it's done or almost done. Not 100% sure, but I guess they're not using the same area as well, as to sort of distinguish themselves from Smallville, not be exactly the same. But also maybe it's hard to use this area again like they did back in the day for Smallville. In regards to what year they're in, on the little sign above the blockbuster, it says 1998's biggest hit. So this is in 1998, we can assume. You can see the blockbuster is guaranteeing copies of Space Jam, which is my jam. Who doesn't like Space Jam? Come on, everyone. At least if you're around my age, you love Space Jam, which obviously is a Warner Brothers property, so it's not surprising that they're chucking in Space Jam in there. Maybe a bit of a subtle advertisement for the next Space Jam movie that's coming out next year. Who knows? Now, in regards to what the town is, in regards to the fictional sense, it's filming in Cloverdale, the real place in British Columbia. But what town is it? Well, the town appears to be Masonville, based on a tow truck that was seen on set. Hopefully you can see that photo on screen right now. Now, Masonville is actually something that's appeared before. No, not appeared, but been mentioned before, and it actually has some resonance. So Masonville was actually mentioned in an earlier season of The Flash when Barry is reciting a story about his parents and himself stopping there to get ice cream after a certain event, and he's actually talking to a certain someone. So I'm going to play that clip right now because it might get your heads ticking and get your theory engines ticking into overdrive. So let's watch that clip from The Flash Season 3 right now.
I begged Mom and Dad to let me go to the Science Expo in Midway. And we got a flat tire on that dirt road, no spare. So we were towed to that garage in a tiny little one-street town. Of course, we were stuck there all day. Then we got ice cream and French fries with gravy at that little diner. And then that night, we watched the local fireworks show, and it actually turned out to be a great day. That's my favorite memory with Mom and Dad. What was the name of that town? Masonville.
So, wow. Does this have anything to do with Savitar? Now, the answer to that is possibly. Anything's possible, whether it's a 1% chance or a 99% chance of happening. It's always possible. But the fact that it's, tying back to this moment specifically would, I guess, lean more to that, possibility happening. But the thing that has to be focused on is that Barry says that stopping in Masonville after the science fair, getting, ice cream and fries with gravy, and then watching the fireworks and stuff, is his favorite memory of his mother and father. That's a very important, if not the most important thing to center in on from that scene or that clip I showed you from season 3. So the flashback scene would presumably have both Nora and Henry Allen along with a young Barry. Now, sidetrack with the young Barry, obviously we did have the unfortunate passing of Logan Williams, who played young Barry from the earlier seasons. I think it was earlier this year. Now, the thing is that he hadn't played young Barry for a while. There actually had been a younger Barry, or a recast for young Barry to play certain ages, which would probably be this age as well. I don't know how that young Barry looks at the moment, so maybe they might have to recast again. We'll have to wait and see. Who knows? But the big question around this whole flashback scene and this scenario in general is whether it is actually Barry reliving the memory, whether it be just thinking about it, thinking back to it, or potentially visiting it through time travel, or if it is someone else visiting this scenario and watching it take place, and maybe if the show wants to just mess and screw with Barry a little bit more, maybe mess with this nice memory and make it not such a pleasant thing for Barry to think back to. So if that's the case, the latter, obviously you'd have to assume it's a villain or an annoyance of Barry that is, going and doing it. Now, the first option you could chuck in there is Savitar. I think it's really hard to work Savitar back into this show just due to everything. Like, Barry sort of cancelled that loop by, I guess just cancelling Iris not dying. So it's hard to make that work. However, they could make it that maybe Savitar in the Earth Prime timeline can work without any of that happening. Who knows? It could be hard. Maybe it's Savitar from a different Earth. Who knows? Or maybe it's the fact that maybe some sort of Speed Force thing, maybe Barry messing with the Speed Force allows Savitar to live again. I don't know if they'd even do that, but the fact that this clip ties back to Savitar is just something to keep in mind. Obviously, we know that Godspeed is in this season, so Godspeed is one that you'd have to chuck in there and say, hey, this could be it, especially if there's some beef or heat going on between Godspeed and Barry, where Godspeed might want to go back and maybe mess with Barry a bit more, or they can maybe even tie it in where maybe a certain villain was in this area at the same time that Barry was here as a young child. Who knows? I don't know how they'd tie that in because it's meant to be like a really positive memory for Barry, so I don't know how they'd work a villain thing in there at all. It'd have to be something time travel wise and sort of spying if it has to do with a villain. Obviously, a big character to keep in mind is Reverse Flash. Reverse Flash is a very important character to keep in mind, especially when it comes to Barry and his memories and things in the past, and especially things to do with his parents. Reverse Flash could show up, and it could be an episode where Reverse Flash is just screwing with Barry's memories from the past and making them negative. It's something that Reverse Flash would and will do and has done. So that's always important to remember as well. Reverse Flash, we know that there was the setup last season with him, so is that going to lean into this? I don't know. And obviously there could be another like time travel centric villain associated with this as well. It's hard to tell. Now, in regards to where they are in the season, they would be around the middle point of the season in regards to filming. So anywhere from like episode 7, 8, or 9. I think it's probably more leaning towards 7 or 8, but it could be the latter. Who knows? The filming's been a bit secret for a bit. So if they were fleshing out some, villainous stuff or antagonist stuff, this would be a time to do it, or the time in the season where they would be doing it. So it wouldn't be too much of a surprise if that was the case. Now, another option is one that is fairly likely as well, and that's that they could be explaining or just exploring some Earth Prime stuff and Earth Prime history and just the Earth Prime timeline, maybe specifically related to Jay Garrick. Now, we were told last season post-Crisis that he is a resident of Earth Prime now. He's alive along with his girlfriend, Joan Williams. So we're expected to see them. John Wesley Shipp, who plays Jay Garrick, has said that we will be seeing him at some point in this season, but it's sort of gone quiet on that sort of front in regards to when he's appearing. But as I've said previously, because of the whole COVID thing, most people that come into the show won't just be there for one episode. They'll be there for at least 2 episodes to make it worth their time. So I'd assume that Jay Garrick's going to be there for a couple of episodes. Maybe not in a row, but definitely maybe like episode 7, then episode 9, episode 6, then episode 8, something along those lines. But in regards to Jay Garrick being alive, how does that make sense considering that Henry Allen existed on the Earth previously as well, along with Joan Williams, who was the doppelganger of Nora Allen? How do they make sense that Jay and Joan are both residents of Earth Prime when Henry and Nora existed before as well, and the doppelgangers shouldn't have been able to exist or coexist, might I say. That's something that they're going to have to explain. Are they going to make it the Jay Garrick that is here is actually from Earth 3, pre-crisis, managed to survive because of the whole expertise on the situation at hand in regards to the antimatter and stuff like that? That could make sense. There wasn't really much details given by Eric Wallace, was it last year or beginning of this year, post-crisis, in regards to that whole Jay Garrick thing. He just pretty much said, yeah, they're alive, but they never actually showed up in the back half of The Flash Season 6. They never explain it. So we're going to have to lead into Season 7, where they're hopefully going to touch on that and make it make some sort of sense. Will it make 100% sense? Who knows? That's up for them to decide and us to judge. But at least as long as it makes some sort of sense, then I'll be happy. Now, some of you might notice this. There are Christmas decorations around this area when they're filming. It's hard to tell if this is for the show or it is just what the actual real life area is dressed up as because, well, it's the holiday season and I don't think they're going to pan up or something like that. And I think they were just setting up as well. I don't think they were filming. I think they were just setting up to film maybe for the next day or something like that. I'm not too sure. Or maybe it's meant to be a night scene, so they might remove those decorations or just remove it in post-production. They can easily just, wipe them out. They don't have to actually take them down. They can just wipe them out digitally. So that might be what happens there. So I wouldn't set your eyes on this being a Christmas episode, or Christmas flashback, but maybe it is. Who knows? But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support for the channel, especially during this time. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on this. Do you think it's attached to a villain? Do you think it's just a simple flashback, maybe the beginning of an episode, which ties into like the message of the episode or something? Or are you really set on the villain stuff? Let me know in the comments. I'm always curious. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.